What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, I'm gonna go yes.
Okay, can I ask why?
Okay, I don't like Hamas. I'm Palestinian. I don't like Hamas. I think they are partially the reason that we've ended up in this war with Israel.
Can I ask you, as your experience as a young Palestinian, do you study here?
Yeah, I'm starting at SOAS.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So, as a young a Palestinian woman studying here, being here, I don't know if you've seen or not, but we do have in this country now, I would say monthly, but at a time weekly, Palestine demonstrations. And at these demonstrations, we have seen rhetoric via past Free Palestine, past We Want the Betterment for Palestinians, into what I would say is anti-Semitism and pro-Hamas rhetoric. And as sort of a Palestinian here, what do you make when you see sort of pro-Hamas rhetoric in countries like this?
I mean, honestly, when I see stuff like that, I really try my best to tell people, like, this is garbage and what you're saying just isn't accurate at all. Because I think what we don't understand is, like, we're seeing this from a Western perspective. But, like, I was born in Syria. I grew up in Jordan. I've lived in the Middle East pretty much my whole life. I know for a fact that things aren't as black and white, and I know that sometimes our options are just really crappy, and sometimes we just pick the less crappy of options. But if someone is openly saying, like, Hamas is good, like, obviously I'm not okay with that, and I've always been, like, very much like, you need to get your together if you're saying something like that.
It's not that black and white.
It's not that simple.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. And Hamas there's no denying that Hamas has done absolutely horrendous things. Like, there's no denying that. Like, October 7th alone, we'll ignore everything else, but October 7th should have never happened. And it was a very selfish act. It was an act of political gain for themselves, not in the cause of the Palestinian people. And I think every Palestinian looks at what happened on October 7th and genuinely thinks, this is the reason it's gotten even worse. So it's, to an extent, we blame ourselves almost. We're giving ourselves the blame for what we're going through, even though it's people who we have no control over who've actually done this. And that's why there's this big issue, in my opinion, is like we are forgetting that these are two separate things, people and government. And that's the thing, is we forget that about Israel, but we also forget that about Palestine. And that happens a lot. We forget that Palestinians are just humans and that they're not necessarily Hamas.
So I was talking to someone a moment ago, and we were saying, first off, with any country, yeah, there's a huge distinction between the people of a land and the people who control that land. And Hamas hasn't just done things to Jews and Israelis, Hamas has done things to Gazans, as you...
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so that is a big distinction that we need to make. And that's also why we're here as well, to try and emphasize that, yeah, it's perfectly possible and good and decent to say, you know, we want betterment for Palestinians, while also being like, and Hamas are...
It's not like a one-sided, like, blade.
Yeah.
Like, you can have multiple opinions on one thing.
Yeah.
And just because one thing is good doesn't mean the other thing is also good, or because one thing is wrong doesn't mean the other thing is also wrong. It really depends. It can come in so many different variables. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is a great question, but I think you'll get a lot of very different opinions. But in my opinion, I'm going to say yes.